welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yemi, and this channel is all about inspiring you to own your life, live up to your potentials, and to be your best self. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy it here. So please do subscribe and turn on your bell notification so you don't forget, so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And if you're still thinking about it, just go over the videos on the channel so you get to understand me better and you get to know what I do on this channel, okay? And I hope you stick around. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you're enjoying your year. This is the first video of the year, even though I know this is not the first video uploaded this year, but this is the first video I'm recording this year, and this is the official first video for the year 2023. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope your year started on a very good note. And even if it didn't, I hope this video encourages you to start the year and equips you to start the year on a very good note. All right. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some questions that I think you should ask yourself. Just simple questions, 5 simple questions that I think you should ask yourself. Anytime you want to reinvent yourself, you want to begin you want to start afresh, you want a fresh start, new beginning, or you just want to reinvent yourself, I think these are questions that you really need to ask yourself, and you really need to sit down to figure out answers to these questions, because they will really help you on the journey. I know that this is a new year, a fresh start for everyone, and yes, you can reinvent yourself at any time of the year, anytime you feel like, the moment you realize that, oh, things are not working for me, and you see the need to reinvent yourself, anytime is a good time. But I think there's power when we do things collectively. You know, it's a collective new year for everyone. It's not like your own new year starting tomorrow. It's a new year for everyone. So I think there's power in doing things collectively, which is why there is power in a general fresh start, okay? And it's something that you can tap into and just explore the power in it. Before I even go into the question, let me talk a little bit about reinventing yourself, okay? Because I know there are lots of videos on YouTube where you see how to reinvent yourself, how to be that girl, how to become that woman, and yada, 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 yada. Okay. I think that sometimes when we use a word too much, it loses its meaning, right? For example, when people say reinvent, somebody can just wake up, oh, I'm about to reinvent myself. And when you look at all these videos on YouTube, sometimes when they talk about reinventing yourself, it's like you're rebranding, you're upgrading, or yeah, it's kind of like an upgrade, but they usually focus on maybe getting a new car, getting a new apartment, losing weight and all of that. Those things are good, okay? But I just don't want us to lose the importance and the essence of reinventing yourself. So for me, when someone decides to reinvent herself, it means that you've looked at yourself and you realize that, oh, you don't like the direction, you don't like the way things are going for you. You feel like you have more than you're doing. You feel like there's more inside you than you are giving, right? It's not giving what it's supposed to give, right? And then you decide to embark on a self-discovery journey, or you decide to reinvent yourself. You want to tap into that inner potential to bring out a new version of you, an upgraded version, a better version of yourself. Or sometimes it could be that for some people, maybe you've gone through a period of maybe loss, maybe divorce, maybe heartbreak, maybe rejection, or things like that actually you need to actually reinvent yourself. You need to let go of the past self and bring out a new self. Sometimes it's also like that you really need to invent yourself, right? So I know that for most people watching this video, the first situation is the case where you just feel like, okay, there's more inside me, I have more potentials than I'm giving, and I really want to do more. I don't like the direction where I'm heading, and I really want to move to a different direction. More like you want to live more abundantly. For me, that is reinventing yourself. And I think it's something that one should do from time to time, all right? Because as I always say, the journey of life is a journey of self-discovery. So at any point you realize that, oh, I'm more than this. Oh, you get a new idea, you get a new concept about yourself. It's always a good time to reinvent yourself, okay? So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the 5 questions that you need to ask yourself whenever you want to reinvent yourself, whenever you want to start something new with yourself. These questions will help you. All right, so enough talking, let's just get into it. So the first question I'm going to talk about, and these questions are in no particular order, but I think I've arranged it in such a way that it will make more sense. It's kind of like a progression, okay? So the very first question I'm going to talk about is, how do I see myself? Okay, how do you see yourself? It's very important that you begin with a perfect vision, with the right mindset, with the right image of yourself. So how do you see yourself right now? For me, I see myself, the picture I have in my head every time I am in my own space and I'm trying to imagine who I can become, imagine who I am, I see myself as someone who, there's a dark room, and I walk into that dark room and there is light. I see myself as someone who should always use a situation, a story, a challenge, our victories, our win, a success story to shine light in the world, in people's dark places, to give clarity. That is who I see myself as. And that comes from the scripture that I've come to personalize, where Jesus said, I am the light of the world. You know, I'm not even saying that you are the light of the world. I am the light of the world. I have so imbibed that word that it is the image, is the way I see myself. I see myself as light. And whatever I do, whatever decision I make sure that nobody dims that light. Anything that I see that will dim my light, I will quickly, no. This is not for me, because that is the picture I have of myself. That is the vision I have for myself. That is how I see myself, okay? So whatever I do, I will make sure that I advance my light. I make sure that my light keeps shining. So if I'm reinventing myself now, if I feel like there's more inside of me that I want to bring out, the way I see myself is that I should tap into my light to bring out like bigger picture, to go global. Like, it's just a progression for me. That's just the way I see myself. Like, I am light. So how do you see yourself? Because most times when you have a picture, like, let's just imagine you want to take a picture now. No matter what, even when somebody says, oh, let me take a picture of you, impromptu, there's a way you post, because there's a way you would want that picture to come out. There's an image in your head, or there's something at the back of your mind when you strike a pose, because there's a way you expect that picture to come out, that you know that it will look nice. And when somebody shows you, if they show you that picture and it doesn't come out the way it should come out, you just be like, take another picture. Right? So there's a way you want your life to turn out. There's a specific goal. There's an image in your head that you want to, like, that's the place you're going. That is why you're trying to reinvent yourself. That is why you're setting goals for the new year. That is why you're trying to make plans so that you will get to that picture in your head. But then if you have a wrong lens, if you are looking at yourself, if you have the wrong mindset, if you begin with the wrong lens, with the wrong foresight, you're not going to get the kind of picture that you want. If your camera lens is blurred, you're not going to get the perfect picture. That's the same way it is when you're starting to reinvent yourself. You should look at yourself with the right image. You should begin with the right perception. You should begin with the right image of yourself. A lot of people, especially women, there's the way we look at ourselves is not right. Like, you just look at yourself, you look at your body, you look at the direction of your life, and you just feel like that defines you. No. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who can make it? Do you see yourself as someone who can do it? Do you see yourself as a strong person? What's the image that I have of myself? Okay? Work on that and you are on a good start. You are on the perfect start to reinventing yourself. All right? The second question, and this question is so powerful. I know I said that the first time, but this question, it is highly, highly powerful. Like, this is something that I even mentioned in my ebook. It's something that I extracted from my ebook, and it's really powerful. I know sometimes when I say this question, I know it's easy for us to overlook, and it's easy for us to say, oh, I know that. But I want you to really, really sit down and really, really think about it, okay? So the second question I want to talk about is, what 3 experiences have shaped my life? Okay, what 3 experiences have shaped my life? Most times when you look at one, it doesn't give you the full picture. When you have 2, you're getting there. But when you have 3, it's like a triangle. You're able to connect the dots somewhere, right? So what 3 experiences have shaped your life? And I don't know if I've ever shared this particular experience of mine on this channel before, but I'm going to share an experience with you guys so that maybe it can trigger you to just remember those experiences that they like it's in your head. I know as you're even listening right now, there's probably one experience in your head. It may not be something from a long time ago. It may be an experience that you just recently experienced. It might be from childhood, any experience, but just make sure that you're writing down 3 experiences that have shaped your life. So as I said, I remember when I was much younger, when I was a child, maybe I was about 6, 7, I don't know. I was really, really young. I was still in primary school at the time. So I remember we had this house help. And my parents wanted to lay off this lady. They wanted to lay off this house help. So this one, she was not a nanny. She was just our house help. She helps with the house chores and everything. She doesn't take care of us. Like I said, like I was already in primary school and all of that. So we were 3 at the time, 3 children. One of my cousins, my elder sister, and myself. 3 of us that could actually put out their thoughts together. I had a younger one, but she was still like a child, So I was still a child as well, but I knew what I could put my thoughts together. We were older. So my parents sat us down and asked us like, do you want us to lay this person off? Do you want this lady to go? And I remember they asked us according to our age, yes. So they asked my cousin, is the guy, he was much older, and they asked him, do you want this person to go? Do you want this lady to go? And he said yes, he wanted her to go. They asked my elder sister, she said no, because there are some things that she used to do, extra benefits that you get from older people, right? So she said no, that she didn't want them to go. But I don't know, whatever reason, she said no. So at the time when it was, I knew immediately my parents said they were going to ask us that question. They asked us the question before they even went to the guy. I was trying to think about it, like, do I want her to go or do I want her not to go? Like, do I want her to stay? And this lady, she takes me out when she's going on her own escapade and she buys things for me. So I love that. And also, I didn't like the fact that she used to make us do some of the chores that she was supposed to do. Sometimes, I remember clearly that she used to make us pick beans. So she would pour beans in a tray and she would apportion it to all of us. And she'd be like the first person to finish picking these beans, like taking the shaft out of the beans. And so we'll be in a hurry. We'll be picking beans just because we wanted to, finish it. Sometimes I don't like it because I don't like such duties. And she used to make us wash plates sometimes. And I didn't like it. I know, yes, some of you are trying to judge me. But anyways, I didn't like it because most times when she calls us, I'm in the middle of something. I'm like doing some kind of role play, imagining things, like just playing on my own. And then she'll just call you to come and do something. So I didn't like that. And that was a big deal for me at the time. Children, right? Yeah, so I didn't like that. So I was trying to think, do I want her to go because of that? Or do I want her to stay because of this freebies? So I was trying to imagine. And I guess my parents could tell that I'm in the middle of something. So when it was my turn, I just said, I don't know. So I cannot forget this response from my dad. And my dad said, that's a smart answer. And he said this thing in my dialect, like a child, something like a child, somebody that will be smart in the future is from childhood, you can tell. Yeah, something around the lines of from early on, you can tell the person that has potentials, not necessarily potentials, but that's the best way I can describe it right now. Yeah. So if you know that Yoruba adage, please put it in the description box and the meaning, okay? But he said something like that, and I cannot forget the way I felt that day. Like, it was only during my own response that he mentioned that thing, and he nodded his head like, I remember that was the beginning of my confidence. Like, I wasn't a child that maybe lacked confidence, but it reinforced it. It made me feel like there's nothing I cannot say. It made me feel like I have something to say. It made me feel wanted and approved. Yes, that's the word. It made me approved. It made me feel good about myself. And I just felt good and I could not forget that experience. But at the same time, now that I'm old and I'm thinking about it, I don't know how the other two people, my elder sister and the other guy, would have felt, my cousin. I don't know how they would have felt from that experience. Maybe they remember, maybe they did not remember, but then it would have hit them somehow. It probably made them feel a certain type of way that is different from the way I felt, That's why sometimes when you're handling children, you just have to be very careful and you just have to make it a balanced situation. But anyways, that's not the point here. So I remember that experience, and it is one experience that if somebody calls me, wake me up from sleep, what is one experience that has shaped your life? That is the first experience. That is my first experience to being approved. And it just made me feel good about myself. And it just like, what? There's nothing I cannot say. I am approved and all of that. That's one experience. I can tell you another experience. I mean, I experienced something last year that was life-changing. An experience that I thought, it was a dramatic experience. And it brought out things inside me that I thought that I'd covered up, that I've dealt with, like the death of my mom. So experiences have a way of shaping our lives. So if you're going to reinvent yourself, if you want to come out a certain way, that picture in your head, while you are reinventing yourself, that goal, if you want things to go in that direction, then it's very important that you write out. I think it's very important to take your journal out and write those 3 experiences that have shaped your life and try to connect the dots. okay? Find out ways that these experiences have limited you or how they have propelled you. And if it is something that has propelled you, you can tap into that, you can use that as a resource into reinventing yourself, into upgrading yourself. It could be that, oh, I had confidence at that time. I had confidence growing up. I can see that I'm a confident person. Why is it that I'm acting differently now? Why is it that I'm shy at work? Why is it that I'm very timid? Why is it that this is happening to me? You can use it as a tool to reinforce your growth. And if it's something that you didn't like, oh, maybe this is why I'm like this. I need to do better. I need resources that will elevate me now. I need things that will improve the quality of my life now. Right? So it's very important, before I go on and on about this, it's very important that you write out 3 experiences. Ask yourself, what 3 experiences have shaped my life? And then use it as a tool, use the answer as a tool to becoming better, all right? So the next question I'm going to talk about is, who do I want to become, okay? This is another question that I shared in my ebook, and, I elaborated in my ebook. Okay, my ebook is about redefining yourself, reinventing yourself, and, tapping into the potentials you've discovered about yourself to live a life of freedom, okay? It's not just about discovering how do you maximize, or how do you use that to your own advantage. So anyways, if you want to check out the ebook, the link is in the description box, all right? So anyways, as I said, who do you want to become? If you remember, when we were growing up as children, and even till now, sometimes somebody will ask you, what do you want to become? Do you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, a content creator, a this, a that? And somehow we have come to believe that that's who you are. We have limited ourselves to that profession, and you think that, oh, that is who you are. That is not who you are. You can be a musician. That may be your profession. That may be how you earn. And then you are also a leader. You lead other people in your career, in your space, in the world, So who do you want to become? You have to figure that out. The way they say, when you eventually leave this world, what do you want people to say about you? Do you want it to just be limited to, oh, she's an actor? There are many actors that are just there. There are many people in the public eye. There are many celebrities that are just there. Nothing else. You listen to their song and they're just there. There's recently an episode of one of these musicians, I'm not even going to talk about it, that has a rude behavior, that has a rude character and all of that. Even though he's celebrated, the people love his output, but then the person. So who do you want to become? And I think it's a very important question now that you want to reinvent yourself, so that you start this journey with a whole package, wholesome package, yes, So who do you want to become? And then the next question I would say is, how do I reinvent myself? Yes, the question that people usually ask before asking these first 3 questions, okay? How do I reinvent myself? How do you reinvent yourself? And this is more like the process, the steps, the actionable steps, the things that you are actually going to do to reinvent yourself. This is the point that you ask these questions. And I intentionally put this as number 4 because those 3 questions are very important. It will put you on the right start, so that when you now begin to ask yourself, how do I reinvent myself? What are the actionable steps? What are the things that I will do? That's why you talk about the habits. That's why you talk about the goals. That's why you talk about the friendship that you would cultivate. That's when you talk about the environment that you're going to create for this person that you want to be. So this is where you actually look at the how and you write it down. The actionable steps. What resources? Right now, I've written down how I want to go about the year, the actionable steps on how I want to maximize this year, maximize my potentials this year, and maximize the 365 days that I have this year to achieve the goals that God has given me for this year. What am I going to do? What are the actionable steps? Who am I going to follow? Who am I going to listen to? Whose resources am I going to, take on? Whose resources am I going to, buy or take on? Take on is the word. So what are you actually going to do to reinvent yourself? That's the 4th question I want you to ask yourself. And then the last question, and also very important question to ask yourself, is, how am I going to sustain the new me? Okay? How am I going to sustain this new person? And I think it's very important. Like I said earlier, I see myself, the vision, the image I have of myself, the way I see myself as light, okay? Now, how do I sustain myself being the light? Because especially if you're a Nigerian, NEPA can take light at any time. If you're not in control of your own source of electricity, if it is NEPA you rely on, or is it PHCN now, they can take light at any time. So how do I sustain that light? How do I keep my light shining? How do I sustain this person that I want to become? How do I sustain myself as a leader? How do I sustain this person that I've worked so hard to become? Because trust me, when you don't have a plan to remain a certain way, times can change. Like something that I believe in, the spotlight cannot be on you forever. So when the spotlight are not on you, are you still that person? When you're not earning rewards from this new you, are you still that person? Can you still sustain this lifestyle until you decide to reinvent yourself again? Are you going to be able to sustain that new you? And one of the ways that some of the ways that I sustain myself as this light is to study the Word of God. God gave me that image. God put that desire in me. How do I sustain it? By studying the Word of God, constantly improving, constantly working on my relationship with God, constantly growing in my faith and my relationship with God. I said that. Just constantly growing in my relationship with God, studying my Bible, so that's my source, so that my fruit is deeply rooted in my source. Another way I sustain myself is by sharing, by communicating, by sharing my value, by sharing my ideas, by sharing my words, by sharing the things that I've gone through, by sharing the experiences that I've gone through, by sharing the knowledge, the wisdom, the things that I've learned, by sharing. That's how I sustain it. Because I remember last year when I was going through that particular challenge in my life, I remember watching my videos on YouTube. And it felt like it wasn't me that said those things. It didn't even feel like it was me. Like I was watching my own videos as if it was somebody else's videos that I was watching. And that was when I knew that I did a good job, if I do say so myself. You know, that was when I knew that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, those videos encouraged me, myself. And so by sharing, I remain the light. I stay the light that God wants me to be. By studying the Word, by sharing what I'm learning, that's how I remain the light. So for you, the person you want to be, this image of yourself, this mother that you want to be, this woman that you want to be, this wife that you want to be, this sister that you want to be, this person for yourself that you want to be, how are you going to sustain it when you get there? You should have a plan. I know it's not everything that should be in black and white, because yes, things do happen. But when you have a way to build your resilience, when there's a structure, when there's a framework, then you're good to go. When those things happen, you're good to go. This is another thing that I shared in my ebook. I don't know why I'm referring to my ebook a lot in this video, but yes, I'm selling myself, okay? This is another thing, a structure that I talked about, building resilience for yourself. 3 frameworks, the 3 R's to building resilience is in my ebook. Again, if you want to get that, link in the description box, which I recommend for you, okay? But anyways, how do you want to sustain yourself this new year? In this new life, this new reinvention, this time around that you are going for what you wanted to give, this new person that is giving what you're supposed to give, how are you going to sustain that person? Okay, so we have come to the end of the video. This is where we wrap up. But before I go, I would really like to encourage you guys to subscribe to my mailing list, subscribe to the emails. I share weekly emails every Tuesday. I'm back to regular sharing right now. I'm back to writing right now, and I share thoughts that will really encourage you on your fresh start journey, on this journey of reinventing yourself, on your new start, okay, new beginning. I share content that will help you. The email, the whole essence of the mail is to encourage you, to elevate you, and to equip you on your fresh start journey. So if you're really interested, I would like for you to, in fact, I want you to be interested. So please don't forget to check the description box for all the resources that I've mentioned in this video, the ebook, signing up to my mailing list, and check the description box too if you want to subscribe to this channel. You can follow me on all my socials. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. In the next video, or I don't know, the next one that will come out, because I'm recording a lot. I don't know which one is coming out next. But then I'm also going to share how you can thrive in your environment, whether in this current environment, whether you have jackpot, whether you have relocated. How can you thrive in a new environment or in an old space? Okay, that's something that I'm working on right now. I'm also working on the things that you can do to actually reinvent yourself, to become a new woman, to become better. Okay, these are things that I do on my channel. Remember, this channel is all about inspiring you to own your life, live up to your potentials, and to be your best self. With that said, all right, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.